Hello there. Today we're doing our next series, our next webinar series in the Fundraising Mentorship program. And today's topic is going to be on Canva, a subject that I know the importance of, but have very little experience on using. And so I'm really happy that I have a great colleague who's going to walk us through how to use Canva. So in this webinar, we're going to get an overview of like how Best Friends uses Canva, because this is one of those cool and rare subjects that I'll share on our fundraising mentorship, that Best Friends, we use the exact same tools that you too can use. So regardless of the size of your organization or your needs, we're using the exact same tool. So Canva is just incredible for all of us, regardless of what you need it for. Because as you know, we've done a webinar on databases, and Best Friends has this enormous, robust database that is probably something that it'll be a long time until your organization would need something like that. So I think it's cool that Canva we all use it to the same capability, but Carrie will share how Best Friends uses it and give you some viewpoint into that. And then she's going to walk us through. I wanted to really focus on some donor-facing materials and have you all see how to create some basic materials that you can save and have your branding on, and you can use them all the time. So she's going to walk through creating a basic letterhead, newsletter template, maybe an invite, and show us that. And we're lucky, we're using one of our partners from Tennessee. We got their logo, and Carrie's going to show us how you can even alter your logo, if you please, in Canva, and play around with that. And there are example for the day. And at the end of everything, I'd love to hear from folks who want to chat about how you use Canva, maybe differently than what you've seen. And at the very end, if we have time, I've asked Carrie to show live, it's a big adoption weekend, and Best Friends has an opportunity to do a fee waived adoption. And so we need a template, we need something to share all that info. And so Carrie's going to try to do that live. So I thought that would be a good place to start. So Carrie, without further ado, would you introduce yourself, and then we can get started.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Carrie Lalonde, and I am a shelter engagement strategist here at Best Friends. And basically, I work with shelters mainly along the East Coast region and in a variety of different ways, but mainly around helping them either implement or enhance programming that they have at their shelter to be able to save more lives. We do mentorships like for foster and volunteer programming. Prior to being in this role, I was in operations. I was the Houston program manager for a few years, overseeing all of our programming that we had in Houston. And then before that, I've actually been with Best Friends for 15 years now. So had a lot of different positions, but I have held a position in marketing. I actually lived in Canava, Utah at the sanctuary for 10 years. And I was the marketing specialist for 3 years during that time, and then went into some community outreach and engagement. So I do have like that marketing background, which has come in handy to be able to use Canva. But yeah, I'm excited to be here today.
Cool. Okay, so first I think we're going to start. You're going to show the Best Friends site. So how are we going to, I have to share my screen and then you're going to take over. Yeah. Right. Okay. Share. All right. Can you see it? All right. Approve. Carrie is so techie. Like I'm on a scale of 1 to 10, she is for sure an 11, and I'm like a 1.3. So
All right, so yeah, Best Friends does utilize Canva, even though we have a whole creative team as well. We have, graphic designers, copywriters, but Canva is such a useful and easy tool for people to use that we have seen like a huge benefit to be able to create materials that are consistent with our brand and then be able to tweak them quickly. So like our program staff can have access, go in, find already branded materials, and then just change them to be specific to their area. So, for example, having access to like adoption marketing materials and maybe being able to change out animal's picture, like the contact information. So that's what we're looking at right now is the Best Friends Canva account, just so y'all can get an idea of how you could use it as an organization. So I think I'll show y'all, we have, lots of different folders for different programs. Let's look at the adoption one though, because I think that's like most fun. So you can see we have different themes. So these are different like adoption campaigns that Best Friends has done, and then they've made these materials into templates. So that's something that you can easily do on Canva. I actually do this a lot for my mentees, so that I'm not having to recreate a material for each individual like organization, for example. But it's helpful. It could be helpful for you all if you want to continue to like try and reuse some of these, like event materials, for example, the next year. You can easily just edit like the specific information. So we'll do the kitten palooza. I'll open this up just so you can see kind of what it looks like. This is my favorite
oh my God, it's so cute.
event. Yeah, so cute. So it will look a little bit different than like if you have your own Canva account or if you're going to create one. This is going to look a little different because Best Friends creative team has like the admin access to lock down some of these to like the editing rights for some of these materials. So, they don't want us to be able to remove the logo, for example. And so that, I don't have the ability to like edit that at all. They do want us to have the ability to edit the like date and time information though. And then there's this one you aren't going to be able to edit the photo, but there are go. I don't see my little tab anymore.
No, now you're in my Canva.
Okay, I got it. But we do have other materials where like this one will be a good example. Where you'll be able to edit the actual like picture of the animal. So if you have a larger organization or you have like multiple team members that want access to be able to create materials for you guys, creating things as like a template could be helpful so that you still can lock down some of the like branding, logo, colors, fonts, so that your team can still help you like with getting these materials out without compromising your brand, right? So that's where like using these brand templates can be really useful. The other thing there's a lot. with Canva that makes this so easy. First of all, it's just it's been built so that you don't have to have any sort of like graphic design knowledge or background to be able to use it. And then they also have this really nice resizing tool that I use a lot. So if you do create, let's say like a flyer for an adoption promotion, but you also need a Facebook post, and maybe a postcard size, you can use this resize option. And it will resize like the current piece of material that you have in whatever, material that you need. So you could either search for like something specific. So let's say postcard, and it gives you the different sizes of postcards, or you could see here at this custom size and like do something if there was a very specific size you wanted. Canva already has a lot of those common sizes and things that you would need creative materials for already in here with like those exact sizes. So that makes it easier too, and so you don't have to like figure out what size does my image need to be for like an appropriate Instagram story. It's already in there.
You don't have to bring out the ruler and figure it out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that is kind of the rundown on like how Best Friends is using it as an organization for, giving their staff a little more flexibility while also still maintaining our brand. And you can see like we're very protective of our brand. Our logo is going to be on everything. It's always going to look the same. We're, typically using like this same color palette. We even have like images already uploaded in the photo section of Canva that our photographers have taken. And then there's even like a folder with different types of logos that we have like different sizes and things like that.
Cool.
Any questions about the like Best Friends Canva? And then we can move on where I can show you how I go rogue and outside of Best Friends Canva. That's why I've lost access to Best Friends Canva, was because I wasn't using it, because I am typically creating materials for organizations that it's for materials where we don't want Best Friends brand on it, actually, because like it's stuff that they're doing on their own. I'm just kind of there making recommendations. So this is not, Best Friends account isn't a good place for me to like create those materials because our logo would be on everything.
Yeah. And one thing just to share, so I have access to Canva because I needed to create a postcard for a donor event that's taking place that we could share with our supporters. And in order for me, they didn't just be like, here's the login. I had to watch videos. There was like 3 videos on how to use Canva, and I had to, watch them all and then request access. So, we do take it really seriously on our brand, and I would suggest the more people you have, if you have just you and one other person using it, you probably don't need to do that. But I would, when you have a lot more people or interns or, other folks, you're going to want to control who has access. And because if you're going to put in the time to create these tools, you want them to be used the way you want them. So just a suggestion. Yeah. Okay, Carrie, do I have to stop sharing and then you are going to share? Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to stop sharing
Yeah.
first.
Okay, stop share. There we go. Now you get to.
Okay, can y'all see this Word document?
Yep.
Prints of, okay. So this is what Sarah had shared with me. She wanted me to use this as an example, this organization and their like existing logo. This is their letterhead right now, and how you could use Canva to create more materials. So this is the letterhead that Sarah shared with me. So this is what I was basing it off of.
And Patricia couldn't join us today, but she's amazing, Campbell County, in just about an hour north of Knoxville. And I've visited her twice, and I'm repping her t-shirt, which also has her logo on it. But you can see it has navy blue and yellow, and the logo on her letterhead was multicolored. So we thought it would be cool to, show how they could keep the element of the logo that they put on their t-shirt and letterhead, and see what Canva can make happen with it.
Yeah. So Canva can create logos for you guys. So if you're interested in looking at that, when you go to Canva's homepage, there's you can get to that a couple of different ways. Like, I mean, you can use the search bar here to search for like types of materials you're wanting to create. I usually just use this purple button to create a design, and then I just like type in whatever it is that I'm going to start with. So in this situation, I did logo. The reason I wanted to look at like different options for this Friends of Group logo, it's because typically for like a logo, we suggest using up to 2 colors at the most. And you want something that's just like, really clean and that will be easy to print on a lot of materials. So that's why like the fewer colors you can use, the easier it will be. So, and I knew that they weren't, well, I guess I just assumed that they weren't completely like committed to these colors of their original logo, since like on Sarah's shirt, it had, it was different colors. But, they have a paw print with that little like heart in the middle. So what I did was I opened up, a logo design, and then before I had anything, I just used the search bar. So you can, if you go to design, then you can find templates that are already existing in Canva. And that is always what I start with, because I'm not a professional graphic designer. I don't want to start from scratch. And Canva has hundreds, if not thousands, of templates already there that you can probably find something that's around what you're looking for. So I typed in logo, and I think I said like paw print. And then all of these different example logos came up, and these are all like created by Canva, so they don't have, I mean, there's a possibility that someone else is using them, but they aren't like trademark logos that you can't use. So, and they're just using like examples of, they're just putting in like random business names and stuff. So since they had like that little heart in the middle, that's kind of what I was looking for. And I came across this one, and I was like, okay, that's pretty similar as far as it's got the paw print, it's got the heart in the middle. So I started with that. I changed the text, and then I changed the colors too. So I just did a red paw print, since that was the first like color that they have in their logo. They had the red at the top, so like that's what I started with. But they could easily change it to green, or maybe gold. And then I just moved the text down to the bottom to make it a little cleaner, and I was done. So you can see like how quick and easy that is, and you have like options of lots of different things. But yeah, like once I was actually like editing stuff, you just, you click on what you're interested in editing, and then up at the toolbar, you'll have some different options. So you can hit the color, to select different colors. They have this color wheel, so you can get like really into like getting a different color, or they just have like, or they just have kind of like some basic solid colors down here. The same thing with like the text. You could change like the fonts if you wanted to explore some different options. Again, color, size, bold it. You can do, I mess around with this a lot, like the letter spacing and line spacing. Especially like if I want to, like I want a certain word to be to show up, like to fill up more of a space. For example, I might like increase the letter spacing. So yeah, you have a lot of I guess customizable options here.
That's great.
And then once you have once I created the logo, I went ahead and downloaded it. And anytime with a logo, you want to have an option to download it with the, oh, here it showed up. Okay. So you always want it to have a transparent background, so that when you start to add it onto other materials, it's not going to be like a big white box.
Like a t-shirt. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
Cool.
Yeah. So Canva has that option for you to download it with a transparent background. So I would suggest selecting that, and then you just download. I put in chat, and for those of you that are watching the recording, we'll send out these these links as well. So the Canva account that I'm using right now, I did upgrade to Pro Canva, which gives you more like functionality. And Canva actually offers that free for nonprofits. And then also for government agencies that fit within, like, they have to be supporting the community in some way. So I know lots of county shelters that have been eligible to get the free Pro Canva account. So those links for the sign up, as well as like the whether or not you're eligible, we'll send those out, but they're also in chat for those of you that are on the call. So I definitely suggest signing up for that. I'm not exactly sure like what all it includes that the free version doesn't, but it's going to be helpful for you. So once I downloaded the logo with the transparent background, then I went back to this little home page, and I just put in letterhead. Nice. And you have some options. I think I just clicked the first one and see it's already going to be sized correctly for you. And again, I used the design section to come up with some different options. And I think this is the one that I originally used.
Oh, so you just drag it over.
Yeah, you can drag it, or you can click on it too. So yeah, this is the one I originally used, and then I uploaded. So you have you'll use this toolbar a lot here on the very left side. So the upload area is where you can upload your logo or any pictures that you want to use in your designs. And then once they're uploaded, same thing, you can just drag them over to the place that you want them. With this situation, I was able, since there was already an image there, I was able to just drag my logo on top of that image, and it just replaced it. All right, I don't know if y'all can hear my team chat.
It's a little beepy.
Okay.
Carrie's very important. Everybody's trying to reach her.
Come on, close out of that. Sorry, guys. So yeah, that's super easy, right? And I made it a little bit bigger. I wanted it to be a little bit bigger at the top, and then here I can zoom in too. This might be hard for y'all to see. So yeah, and then I just added it had that like little bar at the bottom with contact info. So I just replaced it with the Friends of group contact information. But if you wanted to like change these little icons to anything, you could. There's this elements section would be the best place to find like these types of icons. And I'll do like, oop, here, Facebook icon.
Very cool.
So like you could, if you wanted,
Don't worry, it's
I've been
distracting you more
closed
than it
down
is us. Don't worry.
Okay, sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. I thought I even closed. So yeah, like it's even got like little Instagram icons, but I mean, you can pretty much find anything you want. So let's say you wanted to add your Facebook like URL down here instead, you could add a little Facebook icon and then add that. And you can also change, same thing like with the images or the logo, you can change the colors if you want. So like if I wanted this to be red instead.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, you just have like so many options. So that is what I did with the logo, or I'm sorry, the letterhead. And then again, like once you were done with it, you could just go ahead and download it. The other nice thing about Canva is it gives you different options for like files, like how you want to download it. And it even gives you suggestions like if you're printing this, you should download it as in this version. For complex images, you should use the PNG. So like that's really nice. So for this, I would do the PDF print for the PDF standard because they're going to be using it for letters. If I was creating a piece of material that was going to go on like social media, then I would use one of these options.
So Carrie, I have a question because I'm probably not the only one who's going to think when you say download, you're downloading it onto your computer or into whatever folder you want. But then when you close Canva, how is this saved in Canva when you go back into Canva and you want to use that logo again?
Yeah, so it will always stay in your Canva account. So this is like the home page, or that was the home page of my Canva. And then if you go to projects, then that's going to show you like everything that you've recently been working on. And then you can also create folders in Canva.
Perfect.
So like that's what I do for a lot of the shelters that I'm working with. Because then I'll actually like share, I'm able to share these folders with the shelters that I'm working with. But yeah, you can organize it just like you would like on your desktop, basically,
Awesome.
Create whatever folders you want. And then you can also, like, let's say I wanted, we talked about like the template, using things as templates. So that is something that I also use a lot with my shelters that I'm working with. So let's say you have like, you want to share this letterhead with your accountant and you want them to have access to be able to like maybe edit some of the stuff on it, then you can use this template link. And then when you can share this link with whoever you want to have access to this piece of material, and it also gives them the ability to edit stuff too. So I use this a lot, especially if I have like coworkers that like are better at graphic design than I am. And I'm like, hey, will you go look at this and like see if I should move the logo somewhere? If you want to like lock stuff down though, So that there's certain things that they can't edit. Like, okay, I don't want them to be able, I'm gonna do a template link and send it to someone, but I do not want them to be able to move this logo. You can use this little lock button.
Awesome. That's so cool.
You can also print from Canva, which I've used a lot, again, for the shelters that I'm working with. Like, I'll create the materials and then I'll just have it printed and shipped directly to their shelter, and Canva takes care of it for you.
Right. And one of our partners is not on the call, but her group's in Connecticut and they use Canva a lot, and they also use GiveButter. And so Canva and GiveButter work lovely together. So she'll create something in Canva and upload it into GiveButter to send out, you know, a mass email or something.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. So I mentioned the like resize option, which I might wait and use something else as an example, because like the letterhead wasn't really a good example to use. It's like, I mean, how often when do you need to resize?
And you know, for our fundraising purposes, my goal is that when we write our year-end annual appeal ask letter that gets printed and snail mailed, that now you have this perfect letterhead to use. And so I barely use letterhead either. It's, you know, we don't send too many formal snail mail pieces, but now you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other example that Sarah wanted me to use is a newsletter. So again, my, home screen at Canva, I just went in and typed newsletter, and there are a ton of newsletter templates. Sometimes I'll add, like, I did pets, but I mean, none of this was what I really wanted. And then so I ended up just doing, I think I just did newsletter then. I also tried like fundraising newsletter. Anyways, I didn't spend a ton of time looking through all these because this was me quickly trying to just come up with some examples. I ultimately just chose this as like the original. And then I edited the colors because I wanted it to match the logo colors that I had chosen, which were red and gray. And I changed out the pictures, and these pictures were directly from Canva's. There it is. So Canva also has tons of stock images that you can use.
Yeah. But let's say you get like an opportunity to, somebody who's a photographer with all of their great equipment says, can I take photos? Take advantage of it and set up just loads of photo shoots, different images of, some of these stock images, but make them your own. And then you can upload those into Canva, right?
Yeah.
And they can become your standard that you choose from all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can use the stock photos from Canva just by going to their little photos icon, and you can type in all sorts of things to try to find the photos you're looking for. But yes, if you have your own photos you want to use, you're just going to use that upload button again and upload any photos you want. So like this is one of my favorite best friends photos that I uploaded and used for some other stuff. So once you upload it, it's just going to say it will always be in your upload. So anytime you start a new design, like they're still going to be there. And again, you can just like drag them over. And when you drag them over, if you like want to reposition it, you can double click on it and, like try to like recenter it. You can crop them. I also have used, if you go to the edit image, I've used the background remover a few times, like when I don't know, for different images where I wanted it to just like look like, the dog was like jumping out of the material.
Okay.
You have, you can do filters, like all sorts of stuff.
Incredible.
Yeah. So this is what I put together. I added the logo here, and then I also added a QR code. So if it doesn't immediately show up for you in your toolbar, you can look under the apps, because Canva it's got a lot of different apps, and that's what all these things are here on the toolbar. It's just going to show you the ones that you most commonly use. So if you've never used the QR code generator, it might not show up for you right away. So just go to the apps section, and then it would be in here somewhere. But for me, I use it all the time, so it's already there. And then you copy whatever URL it is that you want to link to the QR code and put it here. That's gonna use a random one, and then generate code, and it creates a unique QR code for you. And then you can also, if you want, like, let's say we were doing a newsletter that's going to be multiple pages, you could even duplicate it and then drag the other one over to the other page. And then you can resize it and stuff. You can also change the background and the black little boxes to whatever colors you want. So
This
yeah,
is amazing. Yeah. Just one thing, when again, the reason why this was important for me to have Carrie go through is you create your newsletter template once, and then once a quarter, or if you're doing it monthly, it's already set. You go in, swap out the pictures, type in the new, story, topic, headline, and content, and it's done, and this is all part of making your life easier, but also giving an identity to your newsletter. Your folks will get used to seeing this template, and it's really nice. And it, again, to me, I was the yearbook editor of my high school 1995 yearbook. And it's just amazing how professional this is, and it's so easy once you do it a few times. So
yeah, and I think it's fun too. So, and if you have any volunteers too that are interested, have a good eye for creative materials, this is such an easy thing that they can do from home for you guys.
yeah. Okay, we have 15 minutes left. So
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to point out, you can, under the elements section, you can get other graphics. That's where I got this scan meet graphic from. So I think that's really important. When you have the QR code, you're actually telling them what you want. And then the last piece of material I created was just an impact report. Again, I just reused the logo. I had searched for a design of impact reports, and then I just inputted the information, and I changed out these little icons so they were animal related, and the colors. And then I added a little donate here QR code box.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And this is just a teeny tiny fraction of what is at your fingertips. Here's a question. Can you use the resizing thing for this impact report?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they, in a postcard form, I'm just throwing it out there. How would this work? Forbidden.
Oh, that's really weird.
Huh.
I've never gotten that before.
I wonder why.
Let me try on a different one. Let me try. I wonder if it had to do with because I had the old example.
Oh, right.
So I'm gonna delete that page.
You are forbidden. Huh.
I don't know.
Well, but we get the concept of, think about it this way. Let's say if you wanted to post, like an adoption, get involved in an adoption thing, but also wanted to, send something out to a select group of people by postcard, um, something like that. I wonder why who knows?
I don't know why it's being weird, but yeah, this is a good example of like I created a flyer and then I used the resize postcard
Oh,
to
nice.
make this flyer into a postcard. And there you will have to like move stuff around. But it makes it a lot easier than having to start from scratch, and it's got all the same information there, so
Yeah.
you don't have to like copy and paste stuff.
Well, I could even see the impact report. You're going to maybe have a bunch of copies to print. You should bring it to, if you do public events or anything, but then you might want to post it on social media as well. So that's where you could save it as a like Facebook post or something like that as well.
Yes. Yep. You can do it any size. So
Awesome.
absolutely. So it looks like it's working now. Um, so yeah, it shows you like this is like postcard size now.
Oh, nice.
So and this one actually converted really nicely. Sometimes there will be like gaps and stuff around the sides that you have to fill in.
Cool. Well, that's great. I'm going to pause now and just see if there's any questions, or I would love to hear if, how I know, Jen, that you do a lot of Canva. Is there something different that you've been using it for that's really helpful when it comes to, any of the things? Because I know you create stuff and then post on your website, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. I do actually have a question for you, because one of the things that, right now we have the one account, and we all just kind of use the same username and password for it. But sometimes we do share with other groups. Like we talked about doing that fundraising event with another organization, and they got into our Canva. But I realized afterwards that they couldn't see some of our assets. So I don't know if there's like something we needed to do to make sure that anybody that is like kind of in our org can see our assets. Is that something that we can, I don't know if that's like maybe too much of a question.
Yeah, so I mean, for the external organization, were you giving them like the login and password information again, or were you using like template links?
We invited them to join our Canva.
Okay. Yeah, there might be some restrictions based on like what level you have, because like I know that you can create a team
Yeah.
on Canva. Did you use that?
I tried. I wasn't really sure how to do it. Because we've had a few people try to help us like do adoption packets and things like that. And I realized like once I removed them, I was able to see their content, but before I wasn't able to see their content unless they sent it to me directly. So I thought that was like, I was like, surely I'm doing something wrong. It seems like it would be a little easier.
Yeah, so I mean, I've used the create team, and then you can invite members, but
Okay.
they will only see like the assets that you create in that team. But you could, if you have assets you've already created, then you could just like duplicate them in that team so that
Okay.
it's the, from what I understand is it's that way so that then they wouldn't have access to like all of your stuff. You can really,
Yeah.
kind of control what they can or can't see. And then other thing I would recommend, if you don't want to like create a whole team, is just using the template links.
Okay.
You know, individual materials that you want people to have access to. There, unfortunately, I haven't been able to figure out a way, like, because you saw I create folders where I can like share the entire folder at once. I've had to do it. I still have to do it like individually.
Okay.
But yeah, does that help?
Yeah, that does help. Yeah, and I didn't even realize the folder thing was there, so I realized like all of our stuff is just kind of in the home page. So that's going to be helpful to kind of organize that. And I love the newsletter idea. I don't know, Sarah, you mentioned they can pull that over to Give Butter. So I haven't used that yet, and we use both. But is there a way to, like, the first newsletter we sent out was really just more text, and then we had that impact for 2023 in there, that image. Is there a way to like pull Canva over? And Sarah, this might be more of a question for you, or maybe something for the Connecticut group, but to pull that into Give Butter?
I do not know the answer to that,
email?
but I can definitely check in with the Connecticut group and then connect you two, because I always joke that the director, she should be on Give Butter's team because she just speaks so highly about the usability. So I would assume there's a pretty easy way to connect the two. So I'll connect you with the Connecticut director.
Okay.
For that.
Great.
Yeah. Great question. And, you know, and speaking to anybody who's watching this recording and feels a little intimidated, I mean, I've used Canva, but the way I learn, you know, it's hard for me to watch a recording. And it's like I have no idea what is happening until I go into it. So find, you know, 30 minutes a few times a month to just like first log in and just start playing around in Canva. Watch this, have this recording, you know, nearby when you do it, so you can just like remember a few of the basics, but don't overcomplicate it. You know, my goal for you, as you know, is to raise more money to save more lives in your communities. And so the basics are creating, you know, a letterhead. It's going to make your life easier and it's going to look really nice and professional. Create a newsletter template once, and then once a quarter you go into Canva and you just update it. So you don't have to, like, you know, Carrie knows so much more than you or I will ever need to know. So just get comfortable with some of the basics and then reach out to me, and, or, you know, I'll connect you with Carrie if you have like specific questions. Because again, let's keep this simple so we can reach out to our supporters to let them know about what the great work you're doing and inspire them to give, you know, and support your work. So please don't watch this and say, I can't do it. You know, you can do it. And even in one of our one-on-ones, I'm happy we can share screens and figure it out together enough to just make those few templates before we get into the giving season. That's my words of advice. And Peyton, I know that you have your hands full where you are in Texas, but I want to see if you had any questions. Don't worry if you can't come off mute. If we don't hear from you, I'll take that as a no right now, but just wanted to check in. Okay, I'm going to take it as she's got her hands full. Peyton's been going through a lot she's like, no questions. But so I just want to say a huge thank you to Carrie, because this is such an essential tool for fundraising, and you've just made it, you've just done something that I could not have done, and you make it fun, and just to see all the opportunity out there in a free tool is just awesome. So thank you really for doing that. And so we'll put together some links and I'll send this out to everybody, and I hope you put it to great use. So thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone.
Great.